Rome, a city steeped in history and grandeur, stands as the heart of an empire that not only shaped the ancient world but continues to resonate through the corridors of time, influencing civilizations to this day. Among the multitude of leaders who have walked its storied streets, one name stands out prominently above the rest: Julius Caesar, a figure emblematic of unmatched ambition, military genius, and political acumen. Caesar's journey from humble beginnings to the commanding heights of power is a testament to his extraordinary capabilities. He commanded legions, toppled a republic, and secured his place as one of history's most iconic figures. Yet, his narrative is not solely one of triumph and glory. It is also a profound tale of betrayal, the intoxicating allure of power, and the steep price that accompanies unbridled ambition. How did a man destined for greatness meet his bloody end on the very steps of power he sought to consolidate? This is the enthralling story of Julius Caesar, Rome's greatest general, its most daring reformer, and a leader whose tragic fate serves as a cautionary tale for all the early years. Julius Gaius Caesar was born in 100 BCE into the ancient yet declining Julii family, a lineage that, despite its noble claims of descent from Venus, the goddess of love, did not guarantee wealth or significant influence in the tumultuous political landscape of Rome. His early years unfolded in a city teetering on the brink of chaos, where the Republic was engulfed in turmoil marked by rampant corruption, fierce power struggles, and widespread social unrest. The precariousness of his family's status became painfully evident when, at the tender age of 16, tragedy struck with the sudden death of his father. This loss thrust young Caesar into the role of head of his family, a position fraught with responsibility and challenges. The year 82 BCE proved pivotal for Caesar, when the Roman dictator Sulla seized control, initiating a violent purge against his enemies. Caesar, whose family was aligned with Sulla's adversaries, found himself in grave danger when Sulla demanded that Caesar divorce his beloved wife, Cornelia. Caesar chose love over political expediency and fled Rome to join the military. This exile, though forced, became an unexpected blessing, allowing him to hone his skills as a soldier. In Asia Minor, he distinguished himself through acts of bravery and military prowess, earning accolades that would serve him well upon his return to Rome after Sulla's death. With renewed determination, Caesar sought to carve out a significant role for himself amidst the chaotic political landscape of the time. Caesar's political career officially commenced in 69 BCE when he was elected quaestor, a junior magistrate tasked with overseeing financial matters. From that initial step, he rapidly ascended the political ladder, becoming an aedile, where he organized grand public games and festivals that endeared him to the populace. His subsequent promotion to praetor granted him authority over both civil and military affairs. Unlike many of his contemporaries, who distanced themselves from the common people, Caesar had a unique gift for connecting with them. He embraced the masses, hosting extravagant public feasts, funding spectacular games, and aligning himself with the populares, a political faction advocating for the rights of the lower classes. However, Caesar's ambitions extended far beyond the confines of Rome. In 59 BCE, he secured the consulship, the highest office in the Republic, through a meticulously crafted alliance with Pompey the Great, a renowned general, and Crassus, the wealthiest man in Rome. This coalition, known as the First Triumvirate, provided Caesar with the necessary resources and backing to pursue his next objective: the governorship of Gaul. It was in Gaul, modern-day France, that Caesar's brilliance truly flourished. Between 58 and 50 BCE, he conducted a series of military campaigns that not only expanded Rome's territories, but also enriched its treasury and solidified Caesar's legendary status. Caesar's conquest of Gaul was characterized by a blend of tactical brilliance and ruthless efficiency. He systematically dismantled tribe after tribe, from the Helvetii to the Nervii, showcasing an unparalleled ability to adapt to diverse battlefields and opponents. His most renowned campaign unfolded in 52 BCE, when he faced the formidable Gallic leader Vercingetorix in a dramatic confrontation at the hilltop fortress of Alesia. Vercingetorix united various Gallic tribes against Caesar. Outnumbered and encircled, Caesar's forces ingeniously constructed a double ring of fortifications, one to contain the defenders and another to repel reinforcements. This audacious strategy proved successful, and after weeks of brutal siege, Alesia fell. Vercingetorix's surrender marked the conclusion of organized resistance in Gaul and secured Caesar's legacy in history. By 50 BCE, Caesar had firmly established himself as the preeminent authority in Gaul. His legions were fiercely loyal, his coffers overflowing with wealth, and his popularity among the Roman citizenry was unmatched. Yet, back in Rome, tensions were escalating. The Senate, increasingly alarmed by Caesar's meteoric rise, particularly feared his former ally, Pompey. In an effort to curb Caesar's growing power, the Senate ordered him to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. Yielding to such a demand would mean relinquishing his hard-won authority and exposing himself to the risk of prosecution or exile. However, Caesar had no intention of surrendering his power. In January 49 BCE, Caesar made a momentous decision. Standing at the banks of the Rubicon River, the boundary between his province and Italy, he famously declared Alea iacta est, or the die is cast. With those fateful words, he led his army across the Rubicon, effectively declaring war on the Roman Senate. This audacious act plunged Rome into a civil war, a conflict that would test Caesar's military prowess and political acumen. Over the ensuing year, he not only proved himself as a brilliant general, but also as a master of propaganda, framing his actions as a necessary defense of his rights and the will of the people. The civil war pitted Caesar against Pompey, who commanded the Senate's forces. In 48 BCE, the two titans clashed at the Battle of Pharsalus in Greece. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Caesar's strategic genius shone through, leading to a decisive victory. Pompey fled to Egypt, where he met a tragic end at the hands of his enemies. Caesar, intent on continuing his pursuit of power, arrived in Egypt shortly thereafter, becoming embroiled in its complex political landscape. It was here that he forged a famous alliance and romantic liaison with Cleopatra VII, the Queen of Egypt. Together, they triumphed over her brother and co-ruler, Ptolemy XIII, solidifying Cleopatra's hold on the throne. With Egypt secured, Caesar returned to Rome, crushing any remaining resistance in Africa and Asia Minor along the way. In 46 BCE, he celebrated a magnificent triumph, a grand public parade that showcased his victories and the spoils of war. By 45 BCE, Caesar had become the undisputed leader of Rome, officially declared dictator for life. However, his rapid accumulation of power was not without its controversies and detractors. Caesar implemented sweeping reforms that significantly benefited many Romans. He reorganized the calendar into what we now recognize as the Julian calendar, redistributed land to veterans, alleviated debt burdens, and expanded citizenship to people in the provinces. While his popularity soared among the common populace, the Senate grew increasingly apprehensive. Many senators feared that Caesar harbored aspirations of becoming king, a title that Romans had loathed ever since the fall of the monarchy centuries prior. At public events, Caesar's supporters even attempted to crown him, gestures he publicly rejected but privately seemed to encourage. The tipping point arrived on March 15th, 44 BCE, the infamous Ides of March. On that fateful day, Caesar made his way to the theater of Pompey for a Senate meeting, blissfully unaware of the deadly plot that had been orchestrated around him. A group of senators, led by Cassius and Brutus, conspired to assassinate him, believing they were acting as guardians of the Republic, convinced that Caesar's death would restore freedom to Rome. As Caesar took his seat, the conspirators encircled him. One by one, they drew their daggers and struck. According to legend, Caesar's last words were, "Et tu, Brute," even you, Brutus, as he recognized his trusted ally among the attackers. Stabbed a total of 23 times, Julius Caesar fell at the foot of Pompey's statue, his blood staining the ground and marking the end of an era. Caesar's assassination reverberated throughout Rome, sending shockwaves that far exceeded the intentions of his murderers. Rather than salvaging the Republic, it plunged the city into yet another tumultuous round of civil wars. Within a few short years, Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, who would later be known as Augustus, emerged as the ultimate victor. The Republic, once a beacon of democratic ideals, was irrevocably transformed into the Roman Empire, with Augustus assuming the mantle of its first emperor. Julius Caesar's legacy is vast and enduring, etched into the annals of history. His military campaigns reshaped the map of Europe. His reforms transformed the very fabric of Roman society, and his life and death marked the critical transition from republic to empire. His name became synonymous with power and authority, inspiring titles such as Kaiser in Germany and Tsar in Russia. Though his relentless ambition ultimately led to his tragic downfall, Caesar remains one of history's most compelling figures, a man whose life serves as a poignant reminder of the precarious balance between genius and hubris, and thus concludes the extraordinary saga of Julius Caesar, a soldier, a reformer, a dictator, and a man who dared to challenge the world, and ultimately paid the ultimate price for his ambition. His story continues to captivate and inspire, reminding us of the timeless themes of power, betrayal, and the human condition.